students of class 3. Hope you all are fine. After a long gap, we are again back with our studies, right? Yes. So today we're going to discuss with the chapter that is 13, and the topic for the day is comparisons or degrees of comparison. Since last class we have learned about exactive. So can you define what is exactive? Yes, it is a word, or it is a word that describe, or it is a describing word. Yes, related to this chapter, we are going to continue. That is on chapter 13. That is on page number 44. Degrees of comparison. So there are mainly 3 degrees of comparisons. What are they? So the first and foremost, that is positive degree or positive form. Second one is comparative form, and the third one is superlative form. Can you give me some words of words, examples of exactive? Yeah, yes. You are seeing on the board, right? Some of you may be saying long, right? Long is also exactive. It is something that describes about the length, right? Yes. As we were talking, the degrees, there are mainly 3 forms, that is positive, comparative and superlative. So along with that, what we are going to do is, on a positive, we have a word that is exactive. Okay, the word that is exactive, which remains the same, is known to be as a positive form. But when you add, see here, but when you add the same word, the positive word of the exactive word that is in the positive form, okay? When you add the same word here, when you add er, it becomes comparative form. So comparative takes er, okay? Comparative form takes er, and the word long becomes longer. Okay, the word long becomes longer. And the other case here, in a superlative case, the same word, that positive word that is long, when you add er, it becomes longer and it takes a comparative form. And when you add est, okay, it becomes superlative form or a superlative degree. See, comparison, positive, comparative and superlative. For example of long, example I've given: long, longer, longest. Long is a positive word. Here, when you add er, long becomes longer. The word shows comparison between the two. And when you add est in the word, okay, in the word longest, it turns out to be a superlative. Okay, it is not long, it is not longer, but it is longest. It shows its superlative. Same in the case of thin. It's a positive word, and when I add ner, that is thinner. Okay, thinner. Then when I add est, so this is how the same word changed in different form. The word here thin is also an exactive. Okay, it takes a positive form. Okay, when it remains the same, it takes positive form. When you add er, it becomes comparative. And when you add est, it becomes superlative form. There are many other words, okay, the words, exactive words. such as small, smaller, smallest, late, later, latest, okay, and near, nearer, nearest, old, older, oldest, and you can give more examples like big, bigger, biggest. So it is said that when the word, that is adjective, the word, when it remains as it is, it takes a positive form. In the same word, when you add er, the word changes into superlative degree or in forms, okay? And when you add est to the word, okay, it changes into superlative form. So these were the examples, and it is said that comparative and superlative takes the form by adding er, est in most of the cases. In some of the cases, they use more and most. They take the form by adding more and most. For example, the word is, positive word is beautiful. Now, as for the comparison, comparative is more beautiful. The next, as for the superlative, most beautiful. Such, and for more example, handsome, positive. More handsome, comparative. Most handsome, superlative. Likewise, famous, more famous, the most famous. And difficult, more difficult, most difficult. Then the other word we can say is fascinating, more fascinating, the most fascinating. And one more example I want to give, that is active. Becomes a positive, more active is a comparative, most active, it becomes what? Superlative. So this is how the adjective word, okay, when it changes its form in the comparative and superlative, they take er, est, more and most in order to change the form or their degrees. So, but in some of the cases, they don't. All the adjectives, they don't take this form. They don't follow this form. Okay, they don't. In some of the words, they don't take er, est, more or most. So such words or such form is known as irregular adjectives. Those words are known as irregular adjectives because they don't change by adding er, est, or more, most, but the word itself takes a different form. For example, here, good. Under positive, I have so many adjective words, that is good. It changes into, when it takes a comparative form, it becomes better. And when it takes the superlative form, it becomes the best. Good, better, best. Okay? Here we have not added, we have added er, but here see, we have not added the most or est. So it takes a different form. That's why we named it as a regular adjective. Good, better, best, the best. And the next is bad, worse, the worst. Well, better, the best. Okay, here we cannot say good, better, or the bestest. We cannot say. That is very wrong way of constructing the word. Okay, so we cannot say bad or badder or baddest. So see, it has taken a different form. It has, see, bad has become worse and the worst. When it comes for the comparative, worse, superlative, the worst. So likewise, there are many other words such as many, more, the most, and yes, little, less, least. So there are many other words, okay, that are irregular exactives. They don't take this form. They tend to be a different in form. So let us recapitulate what we have learned today. Today we have learned about degree of comparison, and there are mainly 3 degrees of comparison. There are positive, comparative and superlative. The word which remains as it is, it takes a positive degree or positive form. And when the word changes by adding er or the word more, it becomes superlative. And the word which by it takes a superlative form, or it becomes a superlative degree. And when the word, that is exactive, the exactive word, when you add est or what is it, the most to the word, it takes the superlative form or a degree. But most of the words, adjective, they don't tend to follow this pattern. They have a different form. So when this form is known to be as irregular exactive. Okay. So for example, the examples are given. So this is what we have learned in this chapter, degrees of comparison. So what I want to suggest is go through the chapter, and for any difficulties, I'm going to help you. So till then, take care. Thank you.